Oshiyami, or through partnership other business sectors. So Taiwo has been investing in the property industry for the past decade. She is the founder of the strategy Rent to Rent, which some of you may already be aware of, and the author of the very first ever written books on this strategy. The two best-selling books are Rent to Rent, A Massive Cash During a Massive Crash, written in 2011, and Rent to Rent, Landlords, Agents, Tenant, and the Legal Skills You Need to Consider, written in 2012. Her strategy is now widely known and practiced as part of the vital systems to invest and succeed in real estate industry. Further, she has coached thousands of people and manages an expansive portfolio with her team. Taiwo decided to start GAIA, which is the Global African Investors Alliance, because she wants to give back to Nigeria, her home country. Born in Nigeria but established in the UK, her goal is to help the displaced diaspora invest in their own country without fear or confusion. From the local politics to banking, Taiwo Oshiyami leads GAIA with her best interest, our best interest, and your best interest in mind. Family, give it up for our sister, Taiwo!
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I was told that I've got 15 minutes, so I will definitely stick to my 15 minutes.
So you can One of the beautiful things about having an event at a black-owned venue is that you can reason with the owner of the venue. I want everyone to rise it up for the owner of the venue who said that we can go over if we need to. Rise up.
Jama, yes.
Thank you.
In between.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. Just a little bit of background about me. I was born in Nigeria. At the age of 10, my mother, took us away, and it was quite a traumatic experience for me.
No.
Closer.
No.
Closer?
Yes, speak directly to the mic.
Okay. So at the age of 10, my mother decided to leave Nigeria and went to France, and this was a very traumatic experience for me. And right from there, I said that at some point, I would definitely find my way back home. And this happened just last year. So I've been investing in real estate since 2008. I was quite fortunate that when I came to the UK after my studies in France, I was introduced to the real estate, but at that time I was just 21 and very stupid. I had an opportunity to buy a 5-bedroom property in London for £80,000. I walked away from it, and a few years later, that house is now worth over £1 million. So right from there, I decided that I needed to stop, having fun and just focus on the money, because the money is the power. So in 2008, I bought my first property, and in 2010, I almost lost that property because of the economic crash. And by accident, I stumbled upon an opportunity to save my property, and that was called Rent to Rent. I literally rented my house to a group of Italian gentlemen who were looking for real estate, but nobody wanted to rent to them. So they came to me. I had a 3-bedroom house. I divided it into rooms, and I was able to make a profit of about 40% on that property. So about 2 weeks later, during that time, I was literally homeless. I was sleeping in my car. I had to move out of my house, sleep in my car. And 2 weeks later, they called me, asked me, we've got a group more people coming from Italy. Can I help them? And I said, absolutely I can. So I came back to Bristol in my church attire, approached the real estate people. They all turned me away. And I said, what else can I do? I went on Gumtree, put out an ad. I introduced myself as a real estate agent representing professionals from the European Union. And a landlord approached me and said, I've got 20 houses empty in Bristol. Do you want to see them? I said, absolutely. So that day, I was able to put £1,400 on my credit card on a property. And that same day, I made a profit of about £600. So that's how I found Rent to Rent. Thank you. So Rent to Rent, I wrote the first book in 2010. It was a big bestseller. Nobody knew about this strategy. And I had to train the real estate agents to work with me. And lo and behold, it took off like fire. Everybody in the real estate agents, in the real estate industry jumped on the strategy. And I literally had to fan them off. They were all like flies, coming to eat at my table. So actually, people that trained decided to sue me, saying that I didn't train them. So this is the reason why I actually published my book. It wasn't even intended to be published at all. It was just a memoir for myself and my grandchildren. So because of that, I had to publish the first book, which is what I did. The second year, I published the second one. So Rent to Rent is our number one strategy in the UK to go into real estate with zero money down. So this strategy actually allowed me to get into my retirement at the age of 35. I was able to retire. And this was 5 years ago, so I'm 40 years old, so don't think I'm 25 or something. So during my retirement, I kept thinking about how can I give back to my continent? How can I go back home? How can I reach back? At that time, I was seeing a lot of people, our people drowning in the Mediterranean. I saw a lot of our people being enslaved in Libya. I saw a lot of our sisters being prostituted in Italy. A lot of our sisters being made and being beaten and being raped in Dubai. So I said, I have to get out and do something. So, which is why 4 months ago, I started, I visited back home, I went back home. Somebody was doing a tour, I jumped on the tour and I revisited my hometown and I fell in love with Nigeria. So, and going to Nigeria, I was able to see how I could, model my business model here and make it work in Nigeria. So going on the tour I was able to see that. So Global African Investors Alliance was started 6 months ago. We have a website now, and it is to bring and encourage the diaspora to invest back home, which is what I'm also doing. I'm heavily investing in my own country. So that is a little background about me. So Nigeria, please, we're not all scammers. There are actually a lot of good Nigerians, a lot more good Nigerians than the bad ones. But because we are everywhere, people think that, Nigerians are scammers, but we are absolutely everywhere. If you're in a town, there's no Nigerians, it means that there's nothing happening in that town. So Nigeria is referred to as the giant of Africa. Show me how to move. I need to do it one by one. Here you go. So Nigeria, as you know, they said that we are over 200 million, but I do think that we are a lot more than that. Because Nigeria, we've got the highest number of twins. I'm actually a twin, and my family, I've got 6 aunties, I've got 3, 4, 3, 4 sets of twins. So we are a lot. I think that we are more than 200 million. Wait, don't do that. Okay, let's go back. Yeah. Here we go, that's fine. Okay. So Nigeria is, they say that we are 2.6% of the world's population. Live birth by women, 5.5%, I actually think there's about 7.5%. The urban population is about 52%, and the rural population is about 48%, which is quite normal. And the capital is Abuja. And there are two cities that I want to stress on in my presentation. One is Lagos, which is got the highest population of Nigeria. They say that we're 10 million, but I actually think that we're about 22 million in Lagos. It's very true, it's very true. So Lagos is the business hub of the country, which is also a business hub of the continent, okay? And Abeokuta, which is where I'm going to also stress on, is the second, apparently, it's one of the second largest cities in Nigeria. Okay. Okay. Well, it's not moving. Yeah, it is on the arrow. Okay. I'm a PC person, not a Mac person, you see. So in Lagos, real estate, how to get involved in real estate and earn massive passive income. Lagos at the moment is booming. The entire city is being built because there is the Dangote refinery that is coming up very, very soon. Is anyone aware of the Dangote refinery? Okay. So if you are looking for a passive income retirement strategy, Lagos is the best place to invest at the moment. And when it comes to land business, I would say go to Abeokuta. Abeokuta at the moment has got one of the best farming land. You can build your communities as you wish there. You can build your schools, you can build your supermarkets, hotels over there, and the land is dead cheap. So these are the reasons why I am focusing on these two cities, for myself and also for the diaspora. Okay. So Lagos is referred to as the city that will not stop growing. And as I said earlier on, the Dangote refinery is what is the first oil refinery in Nigeria. Well, the first working one, I would say. And you know that Nigeria is the fourth largest oil producer in the world. And for some reason, for some political reason, we do not have any oil refinery. So what we have been doing right now is we sell our crude oil to BP, they ship it out, and then sell it back to us 10 times the amount. So that's how stupid, that's how corrupt the country has been so far. So with this oil refinery, that will create about 160,000 jobs directly to our people, and over 500,000 jobs indirectly to our people. So that is a game changer. So Lagos, as I said, statistically is 10 million, but I believe it's a lot more, it's double that. And with the oil refinery, it's going to double that even more. It's going to bring more people there. So what do they need? They need accommodation. So this is the reason why I myself am investing heavily in Lagos State. Okay? So here is an example of real estate that you can buy in Lagos. It is a new development that's been built at the moment. As you can see, I'm just fast forwarding a little bit because I know that I'm quite restricted with time. So the kind of luxury that I've been dreaming of as a real estate investor here in the UK, I really have a good life, but the kind of luxury, of comfort that I'm looking for, I found it in my own country. And when I was growing up, all the things they were telling me, complete lies. They were saying to me, Lagos, you're going to get killed, you're going to get kidnapped. I feel safer walking around in Lagos by myself than I feel in London. How many of you can afford this kind of property in the UK? where you've got golf course behind you, you've got lake, you've got your apartment is overlooking a beautiful lake, you've got tennis course, swimming pool, and in this development you will get a penthouse, 3-bedroom penthouse for about £30,000. And when I say that to people, they don't believe me. I say, yes, a penthouse in this estate for £30,000, all in. A 1-bedroom apartment in this establishment, in this place, is about £15,000, all in. And when you buy a 1-bedroom flat like this, because it's just close to the Dangote refinery, you're going to rent it out for about 1.5 to 2 million a year. So which means that within a matter of 5-6 years, you've paid everything, you've got all your money back, and everything else is just pure profit.
Wow.
You see? I have a penthouse in this property. I've convinced some family members to buy into this property, and I've got clients that have bought into this property, into this estate. I'm opening my office at the end of the year in this estate so that I'm able to manage all my clients' portfolio in this estate at the end of the year. So this is another example. For example, here you can buy a 4-bedroom house for 15 million. 15 million is how much? About £32,000 for a whole house. So, land business in Nigeria, it doesn't get better than this, honestly. Abeokuta is where I focus on. Obviously, there are other areas of Nigeria that you can focus on, or other areas in Africa you can focus on. The reason why I focus on Abeokuta is because of its location. It's only an hour, 30 minutes drive away to Lagos. So if you're farming, you can serve the population of Lagos. Okay? So, if you're looking into, I'm going to get back to the farming later on. So if you're looking into land banking, there are 3 things that I do in Nigeria. I do real estate, I do farming, and I do land banking. Land banking means that around Lagos area, I can buy land, sit on it for 2-3 years, and then resell if I want to sell. If you don't want to sell, you keep it and the price keeps appreciating. So in Lagos, at the moment, you can buy, even for the local people, it's very expensive, it's almost unaffordable. But for us in the diaspora, to buy a plot of land, which is about 600 square meters, you can build 2 houses on 600 square meters. 600 square meters, you buy that plot for £1,180. And that is in Lagos. Yeah. That is in Lagos. So if you're looking for something for the next generation, for your children, your grandchildren, you can invest in that. If you've got £2,000 today, I can get you good land in Lagos. Okay? Also, farmland. You can farm in Lagos as well if Abeokuta is too far for you. You can farm in Lagos, a plot of land, £1,300, buy 5, get 1 free. It's going on at the moment. Buy 5, get 1 free. Plots of land. 600 square meters is 1 plot. Okay? And also, I forgot to mention, if in this country you are earning at least, if you're earning about £30,000 a year, know that you are part of the top 1% of the global population. If you're earning £30,000 a year, you are part of the 1%, of the global population. So you are super wealthy. You are very, very wealthy. So your money will go so far in Africa, you won't even believe it. When I went to Nigeria last year by myself, I came back, I was angry. I was pissed off. Excuse my language. I was really, really angry because I was told lies. If I'd known that I'm able to get this kind of opportunities in Nigeria, I wouldn't have invested a dime in this country. I wouldn't have invested a dime in this country, because right now, what they're doing, because they know that Africans in the diaspora are waking up, what are they doing? They're not trying to freeze our assets. So I don't know what I'm going to do to get my assets out of this country. So in Abeokuta, coming back to the land banking, in Abeokuta, you can buy a plot of land for £185. Yes, £185 for a plot of land. So if someone here is looking at farming, living peacefully on your land, grow your own food, you can buy 7 plots of land. Actually, you can buy 6 plots of land, you get 1 free. Build your house